DTV को सब्सक्राइब करें और बेल आइकन को भी जरूर प्रेस करें ताकि टेक वर्ल्ड की कोई भी न्यूज़ आपसे मिस ना हो पाए।
We all know about the COVID, so we should. I'm not, more of keen on knowing about COVID, how it all happened. So we'll just would like to know more about you just come up with these SSD. So my queries is where do you see the growth adoption? If you can share me the segments where you have seen the adoption has increased and fueled in last 1-2 years. So where do you see the major consumption of these SSDs are being happen globally?
Right now, I think the major adoptions are more on the data center side, the server side, because as we've, particularly with COVID, as we've moved to more of a work from home, we've seen an increase in our business from the cloud providers simply because there's more streaming going on of content. There's like what we're doing here, a video call, all of that is server centric or data center centric. So we're seeing an increase in demand on the server side. If we filter down a couple of levels onto like a consumer product or prosumer product, definitely we've seen a rise in adoption of SSDs from the PC OEMs because there's a need for laptops, whether it's for employees like the three of us working from home, or our kids who need to learn or are forced to do the distance learning and be at home. There's been a definite push on that side too. What I wouldn't know is like form factors, but the main market drivers, if we just look at over the past, since March of last year, those have been kind of the main drivers for Kingston.
Correct. So just to add on in this, how do you see the gamers demand? Means demands of SSD from gamers, because last 1 year has not been good for them because there was not much of interaction and tournament happening. So do you see that there is a change? Means there is a lower demand from gamers community these days?
I don't really know the answer to that, to be honest with you. For gamers, I know that what I can tell you is that an SSD, as it pertains to gaming, is going to load games faster, save games faster. Gaming by itself is still, if we're talking the individual gamer at home or wherever, gaming is largely a factor of system memory, so I shouldn't include that too, DRAM, which Kingston obviously manufactures, but it's really largely a factor of processor and GPU. Those are the things that are those are very important things to gamers. And SSDs do play a role in that as far as game saves and game loads. But the bigger gains in gaming performance are going to be GPU and CPU centric, along with an adequate amount of system memory.
Right, correct. So means overall you also shared about the market share you have in SSD segments or other memory products. So on a small note, can you brief about how Kingston is doing globally, and where you guys are the leaders, or either through the OEMs or you're directly having a great market share? If segment wise you can share that we are the leaders with these numbers.
So yeah, definitely for SSD channel market share, like I referred to before, 18.3% I believe is the channel market share. This is coming from Trend Focus and Forward Insights, those two. Either of those two analyst houses, and that's the channel market. So that's that encompasses the upgrade market, that encompasses system builders and system integrators. So there's definitely growth and adoption for SSDs. DRAM still DRAM adoption is still heavy. I think we see more DRAM adoption on the corporate customer enterprise side, again, data centers. The reason for that is if you're a PC manufacturer, you want the amount of DRAM in your in the desktop or laptop, you only want that to be X percentage of the total cost of the entire box. So what happens is, and you would know this from following the industry, when DRAM prices are lower, all of a sudden a customer buying a new computer is going to have 8 gigs or 16 gigs of memory. When DRAM prices are high, all of a sudden that brand new laptop is only shipping, well, I shouldn't say 4 gig. I think they probably start at 8 gig now. But you can kind of see that's how the market is played there. Kingston has had these pivot points along the way in our business. So from 1987 up until maybe 2000, mid 2000s, 2010, it was always about that upgrade. The single best thing that a customer could do to increase the performance of a computer was to put more memory in it. And then SSDs come out, 2009. Now the best thing you can do to make your computer feel like new is put an SSD in there. So where we've seen, so how Kingston has pivoted is working with PC OEMs to get Kingston memory in those brand new computers, that come out from the factory, and also focus on our data center business, which was always there, but going increasingly more down those roads. We would not have, to answer your question directly, we wouldn't have like market share available for PC OEMs or some of the cloud service providers, because a lot of those things are either they're not measured, but definitely they are under NDA.
Right. So so being a trade publication and being a prominent tech media for the channel in India, so we all know that channel is very important. Okay, now all brands understand their importance. So for Kingston, how you have been with the channel partners in last 6-7 months, and how do you see the channel support you'll be providing in the for the business continuity, because a lot of partners have lost a lot of thing in last 6-7 months. So how do you see these relations growing up in new normal which we are having these days?
Yeah, I think that the channel relationship to Kingston is always going to be key, because that is what drives Kingston product any day of the week. That's always been the story from Kingston since our founding in 1987. It's our founders have a saying that John and David, they say, if you treat your employees right, they in turn will treat your customers right. And our customers in this case, not just the end user, not just the person that is using, that has a Kingston, SSD or DRAM or a HyperX headset or whatever, it's the channel as well. So, we have always been loyal to the channel, and they've always been loyal to us, because we know it's a dynamic relationship. We know that there are times our market is always going to be up and down. That's just the nature of the industry. So for us, it's very important to be able to support the channel through both the good times and the bad times, just because it's like there are forces that are kind of out of our control, but relationships always have to stay the same, and you just have to ride those waves out together.
Okay. So any program we can see coming this year, because you might have certain programs which you will be rolling out for the channel partners. So is there any program for the empowerment or the business continuity or the support you might be rolling in this year?
Yeah, I apologize. I'm not that in tune with the sales, and the programs they do. I'm sorry. That's just something I don't know.
Okay, correct. So one is with. Okay, so one very important query I would like to know about. We have seen very unprecedented time in last so many months, and almost a year now. It's I have seen a lot of people who are my friends or relatives. They're suffering from a service point of view, because service centers were not operating, and even now there are a lot of challenges in the service centers, because physical gathering is too much. People avoid visiting such centers. So how do you see this shift? Because this has to be this is new normal, and we'll be living like this in a couple of years, maybe by 2021 or 2022 we'll be in the same situation until unless we all are vaccinated. So how do you see the shift in the service requirement for the customers, and what are you planning to you fill these dots?
Great question. I think it's. I think in many respects, with the way Kingston operates and just we maintain our relationships, even though we're maintaining our relationships, virtually at the moment, we're still nurturing those relationships and keeping it as business as usual as much as possible, because it's not Kingston that's going to make a difference in how the world interacts with business. It's about science and health. And if the people who are way smarter than us can figure that out, which it seems like they are, and really congratulations to them for being able to fast track vaccines, that from all the data that we read in the news seems to be working. If that can be solved, then we can kind of return to that sense of normalcy. And that's not a Kingston thing, or that's not a channel thing. That is a world issue that right now it's up to others to kind of open that door for us before we can kind of maintain a semblance of normalcy.
Right. So hopefully the virtual and the digital support will be the primary contact for all customers who might have to take the support from the brands. So
we do our best, to keep supporting our customers, and customer service is one of those things that Kingston is always focused on. It doesn't change just because, for instance, I'm at home working at a computer, you're at home, how it is, all of our interactions. We still try and I'm not able to see my mom, but I will call her every day. We will do a FaceTime every so often. We text. She's 86. Every morning, She sends a text out at 8 a.m. to 6 of us in our family, all 3 of my brothers, my niece and my nephew, and this is just, and we all write back and we all say hello. And that's, we're there, we love each other, we care for each other, and that's just the way it is for now.
Yeah, it's very that these time has the parents and our older persons have become much more digitally empowered,
savvy.
Yeah. So really, David, so I know that you might be running out of time. So just one message I would like to know from you for the Indian market or Indian customers. So it's 2021. Kingston is always known for innovation. So how do you see 2021 for Kingston? So what new heights or what new thing which will you are already making these announcements? So apart from these things, what message you have for our customers in India?
We thank all of our customers in India for their support. We truly do. We cherish every one of them. We really, really appreciate that. Right now, it's just kind of a downtime for everybody in the world. Really, we understand that pain. We live that pain every day as well. Maybe some, more than others. I'm not trying to make light of any of this. It's just, we really appreciate everybody supporting Kingston. And hopefully, when things, go back to normal and we have some semblance of normalcy, we'll be able to kind of celebrate together, hopefully.
Okay, so thanks. Thank you so much, David, for your time, and we'll, interacting much more. We'll have much more engagement this year. We'll be working very closely to support, you to pass your message to our readers. So we are always, DT is always there with you guys.
Yeah,
okay,
thank you.
Take care.